Final story here on Breaking the News tonight. As everybody knows, we've been going through a giant heat wave as of late, and everybody in the city's pretty miffed about it. But Jordan, what if I were to tell you that two intrepid superheroes actually have decided that they would stop the villain responsible for the heat wave, the sun?
Well, as their rocket inches closer and closer to the enemy known as the sun, the giant ball of gas orbiting the Earth, one can only hope that these heroes will be able to defeat it once and for all.
That's right, not Cliff and Bill Mann are the ones for the job, according to this reporter.
We wish them well in their quest.
I just wish we knew who their real identities were, because I would shower them with praise and kisses and all that kind of stuff if I knew.
Well, some things are better left unknown.
That's right. As you can hear from Cliff singing in the background, it's time for Arts Talk with Bill and Cliff. So let's get to that right now. Thank you for joining us here on Breaking the News. Stay tuned for Arts Talk. It's happening right now. That's right, you heard what the man said. It's time for Arts Talk with Bill and Cliff and all the greatest guests in the art world. So welcome, Bill and Cliff.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talking. This is what, our second episode back, Cliff?
Second episode, no, third. What do you mean?
Is it our third? Yeah, it is our third. That's true. Wow.
We reintroduced our crew and us and everybody else.
That is completely true. Yeah, it's got to be the heat that got to me on that one, Cliff.
It's getting to everybody, man. I don't know what it was like, but let me tell you something. My famous joke, and I'll use it again. It must be hot and it must be sunny, because this morning I started out white.
Yeah, wow! I can't believe how fast you tan. You know, we were talking off air. You know how dark you've got, and myself, I just burn. So, you know, it's suntan lotion right before I get outside. I got to put the suntan lotion on or sunscreen.
Yeah, and I try to wear a hat, sunscreen, and everything else, but it doesn't seem to. I don't know why. I get dark, really dark, very fast, and then it takes all winter to lighten up, and boom, all of a sudden, a couple of days of sun in March and April, and I'm back. So it's a pretty good deal, but you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. So here we are again, as mentioned, back with another episode of Arts Talk for you. And to make sure that as you're watching, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and give us a big thumbs up as well.
Yeah, and this is all new to us, you guys. And we're using a brand new technology with the help of some amazing people behind the scenes who are not always behind the scenes, as you will know. Or if you don't know, you will know very soon. Yeah, they're using some amazing technologies to bring this show together. It's all new. And so there's a little bit of hiccup here, a little bit of hiccup there. For the most part, it's been working fantastic. And, you know, we're all too happy to be back online.
For sure. And of course, another big thanks to Dan and Jordan for breaking the news. And I don't know how you end up being Batman, Cliff, but and I was Robin.
I'm really not sure. It's a strange world at the moment, Bill, right? I mean, everything is off kilter with COVID and the heat and all these sorts of things. So, you know, it's bound to translate down and filter down to the superhero category, right?
I guess it has for sure. So yeah, big thank you to Dan and Jordan for opening up the show, and they're the guys that are behind the scenes running everything for us. And hopefully, Cliff, maybe in the near future we'll be able to be out somewhere doing it in front of an audience like we had been doing the show up until having to go this route. So hopefully in the next few weeks or month or whatever, we'll be actually back kind of doing it like we were doing the show.
We're doing it, and I tell you what, Bill, I'm really looking forward to that. This is great. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing thing to be able to do this from a technological standpoint. And it's all fun. We can be in the comfort of our own living rooms, whatever the case may be. But there's something about the live conversation in a coffee shop or in a pub that we did it before. And there's something to be said about meeting a person face to face and speaking with them face to face, and having a few people in the audience to laugh and all that sort of stuff. That energy is very difficult to replicate within this sort of a format. So I'm seriously looking forward.
Yeah, it'd definitely be fun. So, hey, Cliff, we do have a guest on standby. So why don't we take a quick break and we'll bring her on?
Let's do it.
Stick around for more of Bill and Cliff as they chat with their guest. Happening right now.
All right, let's welcome to Arts Talk. And I just want to read this intro for Vicky. So this is Vicky Adams Willis from Decidedly Dance Works. She's a choreographer as well. So the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta Arts Award Foundation has awarded Vicky with a Distinguished Artist Award. She's a Distinguished Artist Award winner. So she receives a medal. She receives a $30,000 award and a 2-week residency as well at Banff Center's Leighton's Artist Studios. Vicky, welcome to Arts Talk.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Center of the Arts, 2 weeks.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there, Cliff. So you said 2 weeks?
A 2-week residency.
I'm not sure what's going to be happening with that at this point. I am at a point in my life where I'm not creating. I'm 70 years old now, and I'm in teaching mode, and I'm considering sort of seeing if I can pass that on to someone who's desperate for space to create in. So that we'll see how that goes. I'm still processing all of this. I have to tell you, it's such a huge honor, and trying to work out where this is all going to lead. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And again, another huge congratulations to you, Vicky, for sure. And boy, you sure don't look like you're 70. So
thank you.
It's all that jazz.
Yeah, it must be.
It's all that jazz. Yes, exactly.
So tell us a little bit, Vicky, then about your background. How did you get involved with dance and all that fun kind of stuff?
Well, I like to say that I started dancing in the womb. My mother, Alice Murdoch Adams, started the first full-on dance school in Calgary in 1927.
Wow.
She was 19 at the time. And then my aunt took over the school in 1948, and I've carried on from there. So from my mother climbing on a train in 1927 because she felt that Calgary needed more dance offerings in the city, and she traveled to New York to study, and then spent every year traveling different places to bring different dance forms back. To my aunt, who was brought the Royal Academy of Dancing Ballet syllabus to Calgary. Here we are 90 some odd years later, and we have this beautiful Decidedly Jazz, well, it's the DJD Dance Center, which we call our little dance palace, and it's really as a space for the entire community. We have all sorts of dancers and musicians and dance companies and independents and amateurs, and we mix all dance forms, and it's in non-COVID times, it's a really happening place, but it continued to be kind of happening throughout the COVID challenges. We did a lot of Zoom experiences and so on. And when things started to open up a tiny bit in Calgary a few weeks ago, we were doing classes on the roof of the building and all of that sort of stuff. So it's, we are all in go with the flow mode these days, aren't we?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It certainly makes for interesting and creative outlets to be able to continue these things during these times, right? Because many people are being extreme. I mean, come on, rooftop lessons. I mean, that's pretty creative and pretty exciting and adventurous. So I think a lot of people, obviously, including yourself, are making the best of it, so to speak, and maybe making better than the best of it.
Mm-hmm. We have our theater is floor-to-ceiling windows, the back of the theater that look out onto the city, but there's a parking lot right across the street. And we did do a performance a couple of months ago in what we call the breezeway. So it was like a drive-in performance. The cars parked in the parking lot, and it was beautifully lit, and they watched in this through the glass in the breezeway, and it was wonderful. And I think we've all been challenged creatively over the past few months, but you do what you have to keep on moving.
Yeah, I'm even more creative to figure out things that you can do, right? So now, Vicki, were you a professional dancer yourself as well?
I did a bit, but I was choreographing practically from the get-go. I mean, I just, as a teen, I was being hired to choreograph places, and I'm a teacher at heart, and I was doing all sorts of freelance work and so on in Calgary, and well, throughout the province. I actually did a lot of work at Grant MacEwan over the years and so on, and yeah, I was hired by the University of Calgary in 1973 to teach movement for actors and creative dance for children to education students, and I convinced the powers that were at the time that there should possibly be a jazz program, and so we got this real wonderful little jazz program happening at U of C, and then out of that grew Decidedly Jazz Dance Works. So now I was the artistic director for almost 30 years, and then I passed the reins over to the wonderful Kimberly Cooper. And now in my role as founder in residence, I can really indulge in my big passion, which is teaching. And I teach the company, the professional dancers, I teach the professional training program. And a huge passion of mine is the Parkinson's program that I'm the director of. We teach dance to Parkinson's students, with to Parkinson's people with live music, and we have a grand old time. Yeah,
that's fascinating. To Parkinson's, people have the condition of Parkinson's. That must be absolutely fascinating to watch.
Well, it was an interesting kind of door into this, because I actually went to help a friend who felt that we should have a Parkinson's program in Calgary, and that it should be housed at DJD, because we have a mandate to make dance accessible to all, and we were about to open this new building. So I kind of tripped into the first class to help her out with a couple of things, and I was hooked, because for me, it was just such a huge and wonderful challenge to try and work out how to get into their bodies and how to get into their minds, and what was stopping them from moving. To what degree was it neurological? But a lot of it I felt was because of fear as well. Right. So we laugh a lot and we move a lot. And Sheldon Zanbor, our accompanist, knows every tune, every written. He's a jazz musician, and he just, he does TV themes and, requests and all the old tunes and so on. And we ended up having to Zoom the classes this year, but still there's a lot of laughter and a lot of joy in the class. And I think they love to come to the class to move, of course, and to listen to Sheldon play, but also there's a huge social aspect to it too. And it's amazing what they can do, and they have surprised themselves. They have surprised themselves that if you relax and you really connect yourself with the music, you can probably move a little bit more than you thought you could. Yeah,
I'm sure. So what's now coming up for you, Vicki, in 2021? Now, obviously, you have kids and students. I'm thinking of all ages at your school.
Mm-hmm. Theoretically, we are moving forward. We just don't know what we've learned to take a day at a time. Yeah. Theoretically, we will be back in the studios full force in the fall, or partial force in the fall. I mean, right now there are classes happening there that they're distanced, and we have to teach differently than we used to teach, because we have to keep people apart, and et cetera, et cetera. But the company is actually coming back in at the end of July, the last week of July, because one of the things that the plug was pulled on was that Kim had been commissioned by the National Arts Center to do a virtual piece, and the plug got pulled on that at the last minute because of COVID. And so they are going to complete that. So the company will be back at it in July and go right through till mid-May next year. The school, again, starting up as much as possible. We have, all sorts of beginners classes, but we have professional training program. We have intensives. We have loads of social programming, but we also have a lot of organizations that make their home at DJD. I think there's like 11 different companies and organizations that rehearse at DJD, and independents and so on. So, we hope that we will be able to get it all rolling again, but one never knows, do one. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So one other question that just came to mind. You mentioned that your mom started this back in the 1920s. So have you seen, since your involvement, Vicki, a lot of change in dance from what dance was like, say, back in the 20s and 30s to what dance is like now?
It's interesting because I do, with the professional training program, I do jazz history and so on. And there was a time when everybody went out to dance on a Saturday night. There was no television. People had radios. People go to the movies, but going out dancing on Saturday night was the thing to do. And that was just everybody, well, not everybody, but many, many people did that. So that has changed. My mother had a school that was taught all sorts of things, but of course we do that at DJD too. I think the whole competitive dance thing is now huge, which didn't happen back then. We're not a part of that at DJD. We feel like dance is something you should do for your heart and soul, and it's not a competition. And but the dance competitions are huge these days. Yeah, it's changed. And you know what? We're much better these days at teaching dancers how to dance safely. We know a lot more about bodies. Back then it was quite shocking what people did. Yeah. And today dancers are technically way beyond what they were back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s, and it's extraordinary what dancers can do today.
I was going to ask you that, right? Because if you look at athletes and everything from breaking the 4-minute mile and so on and so forth, I mean, I watch an excessive amount of dance clips on places like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, and I love those little tiny dance clips. Mm-hmm. But in my short time watching these, I've noticed the progression is really quite remarkable as to what we now know the body can do, as opposed to what we thought the limits were.
Mm-hmm. Another change that's happened is when my mother was teaching men did classes, a lot of them in the tap classes and so on. I remember seeing a photo of this line of handsome young men all in their tuxedos and their tap shoes and so on. And when I was young, and I said, "Oh, Mommy, who are these?" or whatever, and she said, "Oh, those are some of the boys that danced at my school." But out of this line of, I think there were 9, there were 4 of them who did not come back from the Second World War. Then we went through a period when I was studying through the 50s and 60s that, men didn't really dance. But I think one of the wonderful things about urban dance and street dance and so on is that young boys are, flocking to it, and there are more boys dancing, which is great. We had we had a couple Cubans in our company several years ago, and when the first one came to Calgary, he's like, "Why can the men not here not dance? How do you get a woman if you can't dance?" So yeah,
Yeah, it's so South American, right? I mean, everybody dances there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's just great.
Yeah.
Now, Vicki, you mentioned how honored you were to win the award, but what was it like when you found out that you won?
I was completely gobsmacked. I just, I couldn't believe it. And then I was thrilled to hear that there are 3 award winners, and one of the other 2 is Cheryl Fogo, and she's an old friend of mine. So so that was wonderful to share this honor with her, and with Faye Heavyshield as well, who I haven't met personally, but the 3 of us are going to have a tea date at some point. And yes. Yeah.
Excellent. I think we're planning on having Cheryl on Arts Talk actually sometime in July here, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She's an extraordinary woman. Yeah, extraordinary woman.
Yeah. Excellent. So, well, it's been fun having you on, Vicky, and again, big congratulations on your award. And yeah, hopefully, like all artists, we've all been affected. Cliff is an actor. I'm an actor performer, and it's affected us all. Hopefully, we can get back to some normalcy this year, and you can start having the classes the way they should be held.
The Parkinson's class can meet. That just fascinates me. I think that is so great.
Mm-hmm.
So great. And hopefully that can come together in person again soon.
They're dying to get back together again. Yeah.
That's such a fantastic idea for sure. And maybe sometime down the road, maybe Arts Talk will have to venture its way out to Calgary, and Cliff and I can work on our two left feet.
Okay. That's the deal. That's the deal.
All right, Vicky, thank you so much for joining Cliff and I on Arts Talk here tonight. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Meeting you virtually as it is, Vicky. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky. All right, we'll be right back after this.
More yakking with Bill and Cliff?
Or yakking with Bill and Cliff, but that was a great dance routine, eh?
No kidding. Wasn't that awesome, man?
Yeah, that was nicely done. That was fun. I
Yes.
like dance numbers like that when they add that comedy element in, and that was really well done.
And I think that's such a great fit, like dance and comedy. I don't know why it's such a great fit, but it certainly fits in my mind.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was very well done. And again, thank you to Vicki Adams Willis for joining us from Decidedly Jazz Dance Work. Well, I got that right. DJ D is what she was saying. So I think I'll say it that way. That's a lot easier to say, quicker.
Exactly. What a fascinating place that must be. I'd love to go visit there. We will take Arts Talk on the road and we'll just impose on them.
Yeah, we'll have to take a little road trip down there for sure. That's excellent. And Parkinson's dance class, that's absolutely awesome. What an initiative that is.
I think that's so fantastic. I can't even imagine it, but I can imagine the release that these people must feel, right? Because with Parkinson's, you're always tightly trying to control your body and make sure that it's working the way it's supposed to be working. And that must be a fantastic release to be able to just let go and move, It must be good. I love it.
Yeah. No, for sure. So normally on Arts Talk, we have two guests. But tonight we only had Vicki. We didn't have another guest. Weren't able to get the other guest confirmed for tonight. So Cliff, it's just you and I right now for the latter part of this show.
Poor people watching, unbelievable. And what about our friends behind the scenes?
Well, I guess we could have easily have approached a couple of those friends behind the scenes for sure, but maybe next time we'll do that. So, but I guess one thing we could talk about that we're both involved in, Cliff, is with things opening up as of July 1st. We have the Ravenwood Music Festival coming up. So that's July 16th and July 17th, Friday evening and Saturday evening at Origin Road Studios in Sherwood Park. And we're actually going to be allowed to have a live audience now.
Hey, this is about as Arts Talk gets. We're about local art. We're about the local scene. And I tell you what, you're going to see the local scene come to life in wondrous form.
And watch a great 2 evenings of live music. Come on Friday evening, and if you love that, come out on Saturday evening and join that as well.
And it's probably going to be a great summer day out. We'll have the parking lot, maybe a table out there, maybe some speakers out there so people can listen. If you need to go out and take a breath, you might still be able to listen to what's going on inside. And of course, hey, we have refreshments on the inside and volunteers looking after you. What more could you possibly ask? And a great lineup of talent.
It's going to be fun. And you said refreshments. So Foxtail Brewery, a local brewery, is supplying beer for both nights. What's the festival without having some beer?
With some beer, especially the Midsummer Festival. Middle of July, a music festival.
It's going to be fun, and it's not exactly, of course, how we wanted to do the festival. Obviously, we would have preferred to be outside like we were in 2019 in the big park, and having a whole bunch of people there with the beer tent and the food trucks and all that kind of stuff. But we just weren't able to do that this year. So
the fact of the matter is, everything is only opening up now. So had we planned it, we'd have never have known, right? So it's good that we did it this way. So not only are we live, but we're still going to be streaming. We're still going to be streaming it. So I think it's going to be a great event, Phil. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And like you said, if you still don't feel comfortable maybe coming out to a live event quite yet, and maybe just don't want to be in the room, for sure, tune into the live stream. It'll be on the Ravenwood Experience Facebook page, and you can watch the shows there. What's that, Cliff?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great to see people. It's going to be great to be able to hang out with people and and see the faces of the people enjoying the music. I mean, we got such a great talent lineup, you know.
He'll be headlining Saturday night headlining. We're going to rock it up a little bit to finish off the festival with a great rockabilly group called the Confusionaires.
A great group.
So we're going to have fun. We've got Bardic Forum, which are two fantastic guitar players. Later, but we've got Martin Kerr. So yeah, who do we have? Olivia Rose, Martin Kerr, Bardic Forum, Tim Isberg, storyteller in his songs, and he is a retired veteran, military man who served our country and then got into songwriting and performing, and
serving now.
Yeah, he's a great performer, and he loves his scotch, and he loves to smoke cigars. Crescendo music. So great lineup. Yeah, you're going to want to definitely come out. And hey, as the Sherwood Park News said this past Friday, the local newspaper here, you want to be part of those coveted 80 seats. So you might want to line up. So, if you want to see some music.
It'll be great, man.
Yeah, I think we're going to have fun. And myself and Cliff will be there, and our friend Paul Huckluck, who's part of the Poly podcast, will be there to host the show.
It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to the atmosphere. I'm looking forward to that sort of festival-y atmosphere that we've all been dying to have for God knows how long now. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, I know the artists are excited because there's a live audience again. It's great having them perform like they did last year. We did the show festival completely virtual last year, so there was no live audience other than just the few of us that had to be there, right? Because that's all we were allowed to have. And it's tough, as an artist, you're performing to a camera. And yes, there's 3 or 4 of us that would clap at the end of their songs, which, is helpful, but it's not the same as having, a good
audience. No, it's not, right?
So the artists are excited. And by the way, the artists will have merchandise there for sale. So, help these artists out. They've been struggling like everybody else over the past year and a half. So, buy a CD, buy a t-shirt if they've got it or whatever they have, because it helps them out as well. So why not? Hey, maybe they'll be there so they can sign it for you.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, hey, tell you what, some of these people are up and coming people. You never know where they're going to end up, right? We already have Juno Award winners on there. Who knows where some of these people are going to end up, right? So, hey, get their signature now. Meet with them. That way you can say you met them, right?
And you get to meet the Poly podcast.
There you go. That's right. So, and if you don't know what the Poly podcast is, first of all, shame on you.
Yeah, we haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, that Poly podcast Monday nights. We call it Must Listen Monday. And I tell you what, That's something that you folks, if you don't know about it, should check out. It's a good fun one.
Discussions, and we have some good chats with because everybody gets to participate with us.
It's live, right? It's live chat, and everybody participates. And I tell you what, we sometimes we think we have a topic, and sometimes we don't even get close to it. Like last week. On the chat line, I think it's fantastic. It's all off the cuff. We don't write a script. We don't write an outline. We don't do anything. We basically choose a loose topic and say, hey, let's chat about this and see where we go. So I like that part of it, Bill. I'm a just like you, we're kind of actor people, we're improv people, and we kind of like that stuff, right? So yeah, it's good. It's great fun, actually.
It's definitely fun, just like we're doing, right now, Cliff, as we improv through the second half of Arts Talk.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And speaking of improv, I mean, such great kudos and heads up and thumbs up and bumps and fist bumps and all that type of stuff to the good improv crew. I mean, these guys.
Yeah, and the thing with their news too that I find, Cliff, is I don't think it's fake.
No. I mean, it's definitely not fake news. I mean, we know that, right?
Yeah. No, it catches me all the time. There's some amazing stories that I get. I want to research more after I hear it.
Absolutely. I mean, I would never have known that. It's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, they are awesome. Well, Cliff, I think that brings us then to a wrap up of this Arts Talk show, and it's been fun on this very hot Wednesday evening here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
It certainly has, Bill. And I tell you what, I like this, and I'm looking forward to the live version, hopefully starting up again very soon. In the meantime, this is great to have, and we thank the people behind it. Again, let's talk about good improv dudes and say thanks so much for putting this together. We really appreciate it. And all of the audience, of course, those people. And of course, we can't forget our street reporters. I tell you, this is going to explode in the next little while because we got our street reporters out there going and talking to people. We got Ravenwood coming up and Sugar Sound Radio or Sound Sugar Radio. I'm saying so. We're going to have a lot of content coming on here that's cross-platform, and I think it's just going to be a very exciting time coming up for Arts Talk, and I'm really looking forward to it.
For sure. And again, if you want to be a guest on the show, just email us at artstalkedmonton@gmail.com. That's how we got Vicky on the show, actually. I was contacted and they wanted to be on the show and talk about her awards. So send us an email if you'd like to be on Arts Talk for sure, and we'll get you on this show. It's easy. Yeah, Cliff and I are easy. Yeah, we don't bite. So at least I. All right, Cliff. Well, I think that's it. That wraps up this Arts Talk show. It's been great. And again, thank you, Dan and Jordan. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you next time. And again, subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to the Arts Talk on YouTube channel.
Like it. Like, hit that bell button. Like, just smash that button. I mean, especially if you don't like the show.
Live notifications. Yeah. And the big thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. And we want to get lots of subscribers on the channel. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Bill. Everybody.
This has been Arts Talk with Bill and Cliff. Tune in next time for more. But for now, Bill and Cliff have to go.